Hello, boys and girls. Let's go on a trip.
So wait till your brush is almost down to pink. Then do this. And do those little rascals. Now we can go back.
All the trolls on YouTube, your girl's crotch looks like Bob Ross' head.
Just smooth the paint out.
Tell your girl cut that coochie, fro. Let's go.
Often imitated, never duplicated. DirtyKenzo Production.
Damn, Murph, not the coochie fro. Yes, the coochie fro. What up, everybody? Give me 1 second. This extra. There we go. There we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am your host, Murph, aka the Dirty Kenzo. This is Convos episode 6. A little bit of my bullshit. Then we'll have an open panel later with some topics and such. Salute everybody. As you've seen, I added a few little skits and things along the way tonight. We'll have a few commercial breaks brought to you by yours truly. Excuse me. Let's take a peek at this live chat real quick. Come on. Hold on. Let me see something. I like to give everybody a tip of the hat. Come on. Tip of the hat, motherfuckers. Long hair, don't care. Let's go. All right. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button, subbing, and sharing. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to join the live chat and comment. My love. Number 2. Mrs. Ivy, salute to you. Chucky Bills. Brother Rich in the house. I see you. Pammy, my sis, and sometimes co-host up here on Convos. Appreciate you. Salute everybody that was at Tam Tams and came over. We appreciate you guys. Robin. Oh, shit. We got some Facebook Day ones in the building. I see you, Robin. GMA, appreciate you. GMA's sweetheart, apologize for missing one of the shows. I'm like, you never have to apologize. Thursdays, always great to see you. Victor Coco, my guy. Just make sure we like to say hi to everybody. Rich, really? Your wrenches go? All right, I'll have to fix that after the show. That is a technical difficulty. The hell? Queen Kells is dropping our show lineups for the week, guys. If you want to try to take a peek at it, screenshot it, whatever. This is our shows for the week. Cooking with Kells comes on Thursdays, Murph at 4:20 Fridays, Nostalgic Breakfast Sunday mornings, and then Convos Tuesday nights, where we're at right now. And you guys can get memberships on Patreon. You could help build this from the ground up and all that good shit. Honda Mommy is in the building. Salute, Honda Mommy. Great to see you. Yeah, Coco, we're hoping them Phillies do good, man. So, guys, as you see the title, my bullshit, and then open panel, I have just a little something I want to speak on, you know, a thought, if you will. And then we'll open up the panel. We could discuss that topic or anything you guys want to talk about. You see, it's open panel. You want to come up and debate. You want to come up and hang out and got a couple cool topics or something. Feel free. So we're going to be getting into that in 1 minute, guys. We'll be getting into today's topic. But I do, however, before that, have something on deck here for you guys. Let's just check the live chat one time real quick. All right. So I have a song I dropped the other day called Decompartmentalized. And I didn't mean to use this time for a shameless plug, but
please believe me. Please believe me.
I was not trying to have a shameless plug. Anyway, guys, this is we're going to start today's show off. I can finish off what I'm doing over here and getting set up. New song I just dropped, Decompartmentalized. You may have heard parts of this used as background music, video music, but this is the finished version with some vocal harmonies layered over and things of that nature. So, new music, DirtyKenzoproductions, Decompartmentalized, right here on Convos. Nat is in the building. Salute, Nat. New music right here on Convos from yours truly, Dirty Kenzo Productions. Excuse me. New music decompartmentalized. Appreciate everybody, all the fires in the chat. And like I said, guys, that wasn't a, I didn't intend for the shameless plug.
Please believe me. Please believe me.
All right, guys. So I figured tonight's topic we would get into. We'll I'll just basically get the what do they call that? The intro to it going, and then we'll open panel up. If you're smoking with me, spark them up. Happy birthday to Jess from iTalk. Great people. Jess is a great person. We love you over here. Excuse me. And wish you a happy birthday from me, Kels, and everybody over here at Kenzo, Convos, all that good shit. Appreciate that, Richie. Yeah, as I said, I know a lot of you may have heard that in background music, but that's the finished version with like the little hook and yeah, you baby, that I just wanted to make the joke. I know there's no shame. I just wanted to make that. Please believe me. So guys, I wanted to talk a little bit tonight about the decisions we make in the now. That we don't always think of the future, the consequences, repercussions of where things will be down the road. What ways we can find, pinpoint these things, and how we can, try to catch them now so that we're not dealing with these issues down the road, as some do. So, this came to mind, just from a few people reach out to you and, I haven't heard from you. I haven't talked to you. People want you to reach out a little more. It could be your children, your family, friends, kids you grew up with, whatever the case. But I don't think people always take into consideration the things they may have done over the years to lead to where they are today. The example I'll give you is, people will say to you like, oh, my kids don't reach out to me the way I'd like them to. And then you being around and knowing the history of certain people, you're like, yeah, but how about when you didn't give a fuck and it was this. And you might be given a dirty, crazy look for that way of thinking or that logic, but you're just being a realist with it. But it comes to that, how about the years when you should have been doing things that you weren't? And sometimes, like I said, some of us, we don't see these signs. We don't realize what we're doing in the moment. I've come to realize recently the levels or layers of what could be considered abuse, or even I feel abuse is too strong of a word. But basically, to just give it a gist of it, you don't have to beat your kid's ass to fuck with them still in ways. Sometimes we don't realize what the pain words can do, things of that nature. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, even though you don't beat your kid's ass, you could really hurt them with words you said and things of that nature. Oh, Shen, that's great. What the fuck? Oh, I'm glad he's okay. Jesus. Little Matty Ice better chill. But yeah, I hear the regret from people. Oh, the family doesn't reach out to me, blah, blah, blah. And it's, how about the years then you should have been building these strong bridges, these connections, these memories. You weren't. And now you're dealing with the repercussions of that. Larry Beach in the house. Like I said, you're dealing with the repercussions of that. We don't realize that. Sometimes we don't realize the resentment our children have till they get older, till they feel they've found their footing to be able to say that to you. Hey, when you did this, it pissed me off. When you did this, it fucked me up. It upset me. I've been told certain things from the kids where I've said something and, oh, I remember when you said this, that really hurt my feelings. And I'm like, oh my God, I would never in my lifetime think that. You know what I mean? I'm not beating your ass. It could be worse, and it's obviously not if they're remembering it, so much time later. But yeah, I just seen it recently where I've had a few people, these people don't reach out to me. And sometimes you want to just like scream at them, like, yo, bro, what are you like? Do you not realize what you did to fucking lead these things to make you made it this way, and now you want to bitch about it? It's a little too much cake and eat it too for me, if you ask. But like I said, sometimes we don't see these red flags. We don't see these things in the moment. And I think that it's an asset for us to develop the skill, develop the traits, the muscle memory, if you will, to, you know, realize, oh shit, this. I mean, now I've even got myself to the point where if I said something to one of the kids and I instantly regretted it, I'm not too proud to go back and go, hey, listen, I'm mad at myself for saying that. This is why this is where I was. This is why. And, you know, we a lot of us don't realize we pass our trauma on, for one. So, you know, you don't realize that you grew up getting disciplined and I'll never be that way. And then one day you turn around and you're, wow, I'm a disciplinarian, you know, so you have to, we don't always realize those toxic traits we push generationally. Oh shit. Richie said they could tag each other. I think certain words hit harder to get by ass beat for real. Well, Robin. Now, see, there were words that were thrown or whatever, but it was like I was more worried about the ass whooping. The ass whooping's what I had me concerned. So words, it was never really a concern of mine, but I didn't realize until, you know, Katie would bring up, yo, Dad, you said blah, 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 and it made me feel, you know, this way. And I'd be like, well, I didn't beat your ass, but yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It still hurt my feelings. Well, I never really thought of it like that. And, you know, at that point, no one wants to hurt the feelings of their children unless, you know, especially when it wasn't your intent. I think if, you know, your intent should never be to verbally destroy your child. However, if you're in an argument, if you're disciplining, that's a lot more understandable than just, you know, it's fucking 5 o'clock, so you're calling your kid a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? But yeah, I see Robin. I see Thursday saying words are worse too. I think the problem is with the words being worse is with physical abuse from us who know. I won't even say physical abuse, but from physical discipline, quote, spankings. The pain only lasts so long. Most of us, we were children, we cried longer because our feelings were hurt. But the actual physical pain, it lasts a few 5 minutes. So I do understand those words can hold so much more levity than that ass whooping. I wasn't resentful for my father correcting me with a whipping. I get that 100% GMA. I feel the same way. I've told both my parents, like, yo, I know you guys didn't know what you were doing, but I appreciate the attempt, just the effort of, you know, trying to teach me right and wrong, you know, because I've been, as a parent, we know that shit's not easy. It's a lot easier to not hold that regret towards your parents once you start having your own kids and you go, oh shit, I promised I'd be at that dance and missed it. Now I remember when my dad missed my ball game. Do you know what I mean? You start getting those, you start attaching those things together, and it does make it a lot easier for those, you know, that resentment, that resentment towards your parents. You know, it's a lot. I think it's very common for us to have that resentment. It appears you see a lot of people that, you know, bring up the same thing, that same resentful, those hurt feelings they hold on to. It seems to be more common than not. And, you know, that's something to think on. Like, we see a few people in the chat, you know, those words bother more than that physical discipline. And I could totally agree with that. You know, like I said, when it's your parents saying certain things, I think it stings a little more. You know, if your parents calling you stupid or lazy, a pig, you know, some of these hurtful things that a bully might say. If a bully's saying it, it's hurting your feelings. I mean, that's essentially a stranger. But your parents, they're your first teachers. So for your first teacher to call you dumb and things that, I can understand how some people would like honestly probably never be able to let that pain, let that anger, that resentment go. Tam Tam is in the house. Appreciate you, Tam Tam. GMA said being a parent is difficult. Being a parent's difficult. Being a child is difficult. You know, being a grown child with, you know, things get so crazy once we get a little older too. Streets of Scotland, my guy, DJ Science, salute bruvs, my UK bruvs. I think things get weird as we get like our age, where, you know, once we have teenage children, because now that, you know, you're in a, I don't know if everyone has this, but I think a lot of us, we become friends with our parents once we reach adulthood. You know, you're kind of, it's more of a friend relationship than a, you know, a parent. It becomes more of a mentor than a parent. And some people miss out on a lot of that time with their parents because of the resentment, not being able to let things go, holding on to that anger. And, you know, you should see your father, he's sick, fuck him, what about when he did this? You should see your mother, fuck her, but she ain't got alone, oh well, blah, blah. And then they're gone and there's nothing you can do, and you hold that resentment will never go. Now that resentment fucking mutates, it morphs, it changes into a different, some people are going to get self-pity. You have some people that, oh my God, I missed my chance, I'll never forgive myself. You have others that are going to, you know, it's going to form itself into something else, which some people, you know, it's going to trigger addictions, whether that be drugs or sex or food, or I mean, you can over consume anything, and I believe people don't realize that enough, that that's what addiction truly is. Overindulging, you know, all drugs are bad, obviously, but the people who are abusing themselves every day through drugs, you know, they're going overabundant. We teach morals and values, but they're different from others. And 10, that's a fact. And I also think we try to change up from what our parents did. Those things our parents did that were like, you know what, I really I hate it when my parents did, you know, punished me for this. So when your kids do the same thing, you're like, you know what, I always promised I'd be a little more lenient here. And that's kind of how I am with my kids. It was like, you know, in a way, I felt like when I was their age, I wasn't heard. So with my kids, I make sure they're very vocal. You know, even with us, you show respect, you know, just like you should, but also express yourself, get out those feelings, because, you know, a lot of that resentment builds on that opportunity not being there to vocalize it. We shouldn't have to wait till our parents are on their deathbed to forgive them, to say we love them, to try to heal our pain. You know, that should be something we work on every day, not once they're on their deathbed, now I have to do this, or I'll be stuck with that you know, mutation, metamorphosis that we were speaking on. Science, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. GMA said, all I have to say is I never had to lie to my father, so he knew everything. That's, you know, one of the great things I could say with our kids. We have this great relationship where there's no, you know, there's really no reason to lie. I'm not going to murder you. I'm not going to get rid of you. You know what I mean? And I think they're pretty aware of that. Like, me and Kels, we try to look at things pretty rationally, with everything, but of course with our children even more. And, you know, once you get to these ages, I mean, you know, this week, for instance, I want to get a tattoo, and, you know, I want to stop going to school and working, and then me as, you know, a person who left school themselves, how do I tell you not to drop out when I did? I seem like a hypocrite, and, you know, you hear all that crazy shit, but, I think it's, you know, something that it needs to be discussed more. We need to be vocalizing this more. We need to be normalizing the mending of bridges. Like we're more nowadays. We're more about normalizing the burning of bridges. Fuck everyone. Only my opinion matters. The level of self-importance is ridiculous. And I think that's what it is. We need to have these conversations to normalize it, to make these conversations more, because I know pretty easily for a lot of people, they're hearing what I'm saying right now and they're going, you know what, Murph, yeah, right, it sounds good in theory, until I have to stare my parents in their face and say, hey, Dad, remember when you did this? I fucking hated it. And then your dad going, well, this is what I was going through with life. Bang, bang, bang. Now we have this information. Can we take this information, mend these bridges, and move forward? Can we or can't we? If we can't, that's unfortunately going to lead to prolonging that trauma we're speaking of. But I believe most rational people are going to try to mend those fences with their parents and or children. So, guys, we're going to hit you guys with a real quick commercial break. They're all from me, but they just keep you on your toes.
Hi, I'm Sarah McLaughlin. When you hear my song Arms of an Angel, you know a company is trying to extort you out of your money. Won't you sponsor a stoner to keep them high? Keep them stoned. It's only about $3.50 a day. In the arms of the angels. Extortion. I could hear the ocean.
All right, guys, we are back. Thank you to Sarah McLaughlin. Spelled what wrong, Barn? I don't know if I spelled it. Salute ATG Barn in the place to be. All right, guys, we will be dropping the link in a minute. Trauma, don't repeat the response. That's facts, Tam. And that's what I think. I think it happens a lot and we don't realize it. Like I said, we need to be able to one, see these red flags when things are happening. I think that's a really big problem a lot of people have, is they don't think enough that in this moment, what's the outcome of this going to be? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like when we're screaming at our kids, we're thinking they need to know that what they did was wrong. Are we thinking of the words we're literally saying, how they're interpreting them, how they're going to feel about it, down the road? Things of that nature. I think, a lot of us, we don't look for those, quote, red flags. We don't think of what's going to happen down the road. And then come 20 years later, you're crying that no one's paying attention. No one stops by. No one calls me. RP, ladies of iTalk, salute to all the ladies of iTalk and the gentlemen of iTalk. If they only knew the conglomerate. But we are going to drop the link, guys. I implore anybody that wants to come up and talk about the topic or any topic, feel free. But just to BP, salute. But just to put, a pretty bow on tonight's conversation, we have to normalize the conversation of mending bridges, especially with those that we should be mending them with. Oh, thank you, GMA. BP, welcome in. GMA, thank you for inviting BP. Excuse me. Right now, the topic is the red flag, seeing the red flags in ourselves in the moment, as opposed to, this is a long explanation of the topic. But basically, it's, not seeing in the moment the damage we're doing. I guess that's a nice way to put a bow on it. Not seeing in the moment that we're not realizing that, running. We don't realize that the hours we're putting in at work. We don't realize the activities we like to do as young adults once we get off of work, how they're affecting our children. And then, 20 years down the road, my kids don't call me because in those formative years, you aren't putting in that groundwork. So like I said, I think one point is we need to normalize that the conversation or the conversations of mending broken fences, talking with our parents about, hey, this is something I resented you for. Let's work through this. Some people need therapy to do those things. Others can just have these conversations themselves with their parents. Do you know, you could just literally, I think I had that kind of relationship with my parents where we might not always say what's bothering us, but eventually it's going to get to that point where we will have that conversation. And we might not need to use a therapist or something to do that. But if someone does, I don't believe there's anything wrong with that. Some people will need a mediator. You can't, do the mediation yourself. For me at least, I can always try to step out of my shoes and empathize, even with my parents a little bit. But like I said, I think that the main point is, one, seeing those red flags in ourselves in the moment. Hey, that could have really affected my brother, sister, child, parent, what I just said. Did I really mean that? Did I, so we have to see those red flags for sure. But again, I think we need to normalize having that conversation with those people, speaking on what caused the resentment, what caused the problem. We really have to normalize that, because I feel like society, whatever you want to, pin its name to, kind of is pushing in the opposite direction, where it's, you don't need anybody, all about the individual. They dare disgrace you, you're the superiority complex some people may have, and things of that nature. So I appreciate you guys in the live chat. You guys are awesome. I see great conversations going on. The whole family needs a therapist, babe. That's great. But yeah, like I said, guys, anybody wants to come up, you want to come up on the panel and talk about fucking dogs, feel free. Open panel means open panel. Robin says, I remember hearing I'll never amount to nothing. Don't get me wrong. I had the best parents in the world and was on drugs at the time. I think that's something, Robin, that a lot of people, and that I think that would be perfect for the point I'm making of not noticing those red flags in ourselves in the time. Obviously, your parents said this to you a long time ago, and it's still with you, They're the things, like I said, I think it stings more when it comes from, if the person who gave you life is saying you're not going to amount to nothing in life, I think that hurts a little more. It's like, this is the person who gave me the life, and they're saying I'm wasting it, Mama, I see my mama's in the house. Later in life, I understood it when we talked about it, but it really stung though. That's what I'm saying, Robin. I feel like sometimes it takes us way too long to have that conversation. You know what I mean? Sometimes it takes us way too long. Pammy in the house. You there, sis? Pammy.
Hello?
Pammy.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you.
Okay, good. I was in the car. I just got in the car. I'm just now leaving work again.
Oh goodness. Well,
Yes.
how was your day?
My day was pretty good. It was
That's
pretty
not
good.
bad.
I can't complain. How about you?
I was off, so I didn't care. I didn't do shit.
Yeah,
Cal's got a ride to work, so I didn't even have to do nothing.
Yeah, my manager was in from out of town, and we had to go look at another space and all this other stuff, but she's gone now, thank goodness. Oh.
So what do you think about the topic of normalizing, the conversation with our parents of the trauma, resentment, things of that nature?
I don't know. I don't think as a kid I remember too much. My parents never were like, it's funny, a friend of mine and I had this conversation this week. Yeah, it's so weird. I don't remember ever anything being vocalized to me that like scarred me. I don't even think I really got like spanked. My mother threw things at me. Yeah. Like a dish towel, or like, a coaster off the coffee table or something like that. Mm-hmm. But when I reflect on my kids, I think one time I said to Kelsey, "Oh my God, that's so stupid." And she heard it as I'm calling her stupid.
Yep.
when I was calling the situation stupid. Like, you have to like really be careful.
Yeah, no words. The way you say it matters so much. Because I go through this a lot with Katie. If
Yeah.
I say you are acting like an idiot.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Yes.
They,
yes.
oh well, Kel's is different because we've been through this over the years.
Exactly. Right.
But like with Katie, she'll go, I'm not an idiot. And I'm like, no, I know you're not. That's why I'm saying you're acting like one. This isn't you. Don't do that.
Exactly.
But that's not what she's hearing. She's hearing you're an idiot. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Exactly.
I don't want her to feel that way. So I can't even go down that road at all. Can't go, well, that's not what I meant. No one's going to want to hear that, you know?
Yeah, it's exactly what they hear, especially when they're, at that younger age, and then when
I
they
left
become
that, my brother.
teenagers.
Yes, BP, I had birth. This is one thing my mom said that broke my heart, that she was mad. I stayed out all night. She called me a whore. I won't listen to that. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. That's my grandma. I don't believe you.
My mother would lock me out of the house and say, this isn't a fucking hotel.
See, that's like I said though, but if you don't take the active steps to work on like these things, like my mom went through, like Robin went through, do you know what I mean? It's like, if you're not working on those things, like me and my mom, we can now laugh about the things that were bad between us. There wasn't as many between me and my mom as me and my dad. Josiah, salute. Me and my mom, there may have been like one or two things growing up where as I became a man, I could be like, Mom, this is fucked up. She could go, this is where my life was at the time. And as an adult, I could understand better. I probably had like 10 with my dad compared to the one with my mom. But it was like, we were getting thrown out at 18 and she was like, I'll make sure you're not that baby's godfather, me and my niece. And I was like, fuck you. It was the only time I ever said it to my mom. It was the only time I ever said it and meant it. You know, I will say fuck you in humor. You know, people go, fuck you. But that was the only time I ever said it and meant it, because that shit was like she said, it broke her heart. It's like a dagger in your heart almost. You're like, whoa.
Well,
like,
yeah, that's just like with
Chicken
anything.
lip, salute.
Yeah, that's just like with anything somebody says to you, right? Like, sometimes we don't, I use this expression all the time. Sometimes we don't remember exactly what somebody says to us, but we remember how it made us feel when they said it.
For sure.
Like, and I can just, and when we're talking kids, it's just, I can remember like Mike work nights. I was the one that had to do the activities, the homework, like everything was on me. And sometimes I would lose my patience and say like, why aren't you getting this? This is easy math. And the look on her face. And I'm just like, oh shit.
Trust me. I get that one. Elementary school was so easy for me that like when they were in elementary school, so, like you said, that shit drives you nuts. You're like, what's 2 + 2? My God. You're like, you can do this.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't have that patience.
That's why sometimes people, just as we're speaking on the red flags and the regret, and some people might need a therapist. That's why some kids need a tutor, because you need that outside source to come in, and they don't know your kid should know 2 + 2. Where you're like, no, motherfucker, you should know this. I told you this when you were 2. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that they're going to come in with that outside looking in. It's the same thing with a therapist. Some people need that, or a psychiatrist, whatever you need. Not everybody can go, hey, Mom, when you said that to me, it hurt my feelings. Well, son, when I said that to you, I was dealing with a divorce. I was dealing with my mother being sick.
As they get older, yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you go, okay, well, I can accept that you were in a place that made, bang. And you can work through that and laugh about it. When you hold in that regret and you don't talk about it, and like I said, we're kind of getting to a place in society where it's being normalized to do the latter, to do, the opposite. It's all about the individual. How dare they? No, fuck them. I hear that all the time. I'll say that with my siblings. My dad will be like, they don't reach out. Well, I do, Dad. Like, I don't, but I'll say that to my brothers. Like, you're the kid. You should reach out. Like, you're here because of them. Like, give some level of respect.
It depends. Like it for me, if it's family, it depends on if that person's going to add more stress to my life, even if I reach out to try to reconcile something.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're going to be a repeat offender. I'm just going to, back out. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget that shit.
No, that's what I said even earlier too. It definitely depends on the party. I'm gonna work on the issues with my mom and dad before I'm gonna work on them with a friend. You know what I mean? It's like you got to prioritize who we're gonna. But like I said, I feel like when it's family, you know that bridge needs to be mended, especially before we're talking deathbed.
Exactly.
Like you shouldn't wait. You shouldn't we shouldn't feel uncomfortable to have these conversations before it's like, I have to tell you because you're not going to be here to tell you anymore. Like, I can't tell you. I even fall into these traps. I still feel like I can't say I love you to my dad. I don't know why. I could say it to Vic and Barn, but I can't say it to my dad. I can't say it to my brothers. It just feels weird.
Well, you already know my personal story with my mother. So my advice to everybody is to make sure you mend those bridges. I mean, and our bridge wasn't broken, but
Becky, salute, darling.
When somebody gets Alzheimer's and dementia and you want to try to tell them something,
that makes it even harder. And I think it
killed me.
I can imagine. I think it even leans in more to what I'm saying now of try to normalize and get that shit done ASAP. Because I could only imagine being in that position with the person having Alzheimer's and you still having the anger. Like regret is one. There's only two feelings that are prominent in regret, and that's sadness and anger. Now you have other things that branch out, but they're the main two. If you have regret, you either angry with someone or you're it hurts you or you're angry. So,
Well, with me, it was
the
more
Alzheimer's having that anger would be horrible. I'm going to let you continue. I just wanted to say that. Like, I can imagine.
No, at the same time, you already know. I mean, with
holding that anger.
Yeah. And the times that she would have moments of clarity and she would apologize for her situation. Yeah. And I would just say, I'm your daughter. I love you. I love you. I can know she would know what I was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like that gave me some peace. You know what I mean? So just the whole thing about like, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or, an hour from now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I tell people it takes years to get over regret on your own through counseling, whatever. Like with my grandma, I was with my grandma, my mom's mom. I was like the number one, like 4 times a week at her house. If my mom wasn't over there cleaning the whole house, like, spring cleaning, I was sweep, mop, vacuum, go to the store. I did that. I went to her house 3-4 times a week. We always lived close enough. It was always, she lived right by McPherson in Kensington. So I would walk I'd walk from like Somerset, Elstop to her house, shit like that. So when she first got sick, I went to the hospital. I seen her. She tells me she don't want to die. I said, you're not going to die. She starts getting better. She's supposed to be coming home. So me hearing she's getting better, and I'm also starting to start a relationship with Kels, starting to try to figure out who I am as an adult and a man and things of that nature. I didn't go as much as I wanted to. So, it's like I did hold regret for that. I hold regret that I wasn't there for a while before she went. And that took me years and years to get over.
Well, that sort of happened with me with my father. I regret, but I had to it was not my fault. It wasn't my fault. But it's just like, it was, they were going to release him the next day. And I said, I was working a part-time job. I was still in high school. And
yeah, for sure.
He said he used to call me Muggs.
Diva, salute, Queen. Vern Vision, salute.
He used to call me Muggs, and I was like, Dad, I'm leaving. I'm coming to visit you. And he's like, honey, don't come tonight. They'll release me tomorrow. And he died that night. So
right. That's the same thing that happened with my grandma. They were moving her. She was getting better. So they were moving her to a rehab hospital.
So I had the same sort of story.
That night. Yep, that night.
It's just, I know, I don't know. I'm at peace with it. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
just to, you just reconcile your feelings with it because you know that you loved
You have
when you were
to,
here. Yeah,
but you
exactly.
have to. Like even for me, like that my grandma died in 2003, same age as Junior, 20 years ago. So like if I start breaking things down, what's the reason I wasn't going to the hospital? Well, me and Kels were getting together. It was rocky. We were breaking up, make up the breakup, whatever. So am I to blame Kels? The person who helped me get through the death, I should hold regret against her all this time later? Like, no, I have to know that my grandma loved me, knows that I loved her.
Well, no, you
And I
could.
was not, Kels, how dare you make me do this when we were 19? We're now 40. Do you know what I mean?
No,
It's like,
yeah,
I
no.
get that way with people. I even had this argument with some of my siblings. Like, if you're 30 years old, you were in control of your life just as long as your parents were. By the time you're 32, if you move out at 18, 36 is 18 years on your own. You can't be blaming them anymore. You were an adult for 18 years. It's on you now. So to go, my parents' divorce fucked me up. Okay, if you're 20, I'll listen. If you're 30, 35, I'm not trying to hear that. Grow up.
Yeah,
Sometimes we
some
gotta,
people are different though. I've got cousins, especially, my mom comes from a large family, a lot of us, blah blah blah. I have
mhm,
cousins that their mother or father have gone into the hospital and are on their deathbed and would not go back up to the hospital.
yeah, yeah. And that's
There
what I'm
are
saying. I
people that
mean,
are like that, or
yep,
people that just don't attend funerals. Okay,
yep.
I used to be that person, like, oh my god, I can't believe they're not coming. But then, as I matured, I was
Hmm.
like, you know what? That's not my place to judge
I
what
tell
somebody
everybody
how
that.
somebody else wants to mourn somebody, right?
Exactly.
So,
Yep. Yep. I'll tell
um,
Kel that all the time. Like, yo, unfortunately, that's for them to live with. All we could
right.
do is say, hey, man, this ain't a good decision. I lost my mom and didn't, like what we're doing now. Like I said, normalizing these conversations. If we're not doing that, people are, people aren't, it's going to continue to be that way. Oh, hush, hush, very taboo. We can't speak on that. It's like,
But at the same token, you cannot be that person may feel peace within themselves and not regret the situation at all. And
mhm,
that's okay too.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
for real.
for us to, it's not for me to judge. You don't want to go up there. Some people don't do well with that. They want to remember the person a different
As is.
way, or,
That's kind of how my dad is now. My dad will say that, oh, I can't go. And I get it too, because it's like a lot of my jadedness has come from me attending these funerals I've been to, an infant, a fucking week old baby's funeral. And it's like all these fucking, the mountain of my best friend, fucking
right.
his grandmom just died, all these funerals, boom, boom, boom. It's like, that's kind of where a lot of my fucking quote black heart came from. So how could I go, oh my God, he didn't attend his mother's funeral? Listen, man, if that's how he can live on without having to close his eyes and see the coffin,
Yeah.
close your eyes and
That
like,
that attending the funeral or being graveside and all that stuff,
mm,
that does not validate his love for the
yeah,
parent. You know what I'm saying?
exactly,
Mm-mm.
exactly.
No.
And everyone's different. I've been to funerals where they're the mom's hanging on the wife. If it's a young person, the mother. If it's a middle-aged person, it's the wife or the husband hanging on the coffin, sobbing the whole time. Then I've been into a funeral where it was a 2-day funeral. She didn't cry for 2 fucking days. The second that casket closed and it
Yeah.
was over, she had to be helped out of the building. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when they say you can't tell people how to mourn, there no saying in the world holds more true, because
Exactly. You cannot
people are
tell
so
somebody.
different. We're all
You can't
so different.
you cannot tell somebody how to mourn. That's it. And um funerals of people that are older and that have had a joyous, successful, loving life
Yeah,
is almost a celebration. You know what I
it
mean?
really
Like,
should be. It really should be. more
I mean,
for
that's
sure.
the way I've tried to look at it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
in that respect, like you said, when you flip side it, when it's a young person or when it's somebody that's taken unexpectedly, or if it's somebody that's in so much misery and pain that you just want them to be free and
I
peaceful,
think
right?
that changes a lot for sure. Yeah, when it's
It
someone who's
does.
young, you feel like they were stolen in a way, you know?
Yeah. And like the people, like parents that like lose children and
Yeah.
are, don't have like this like hatred towards the world after it happens, and they're just loving and compassionate to others and like try to help other people that are going through it and stuff like that. Those are some special people.
Oh
You know what
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Angels on earth. Yeah.
yes, that's like something. That's why I always like when you talk about Kel's going to work, the work that Kel's does,
Yeah.
that's an angel right there, because she
Yeah.
takes
Yeah.
care of those people.
Oh, and I see what she goes through with like the way her caring will hurt her on the job end.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, listen, I understand, because that's what she'll go, I can't leave those ladies alone. And it's like, of course you can't, but on the same vein, that's not helping your pockets. You're not teaching the job, your superiors, you're not teaching them the lessons they need to learn on treating employees because of the connection you have.
But at the same time, wouldn't you? I don't know. I'd rather
I'd
have that
rather you.
connection.
It's a slippery slope, and then we kind of always go back to. I'd rather you have the feel. You know. Unfortunately, I have to. Me and Kels have to have that conversation, and I have to be the one to kind of knock her back to earth on it, almost like people come there. It sounds horrible. Pardon me, but people come there to die. Like
Basically, is what it is,
you
right?
are.
Yeah.
Your position is to make people comfortable for the rest of their life. You
Right.
do that exceptionally, but you shouldn't
Yes.
you shouldn't hurt yourself or anything of that nature along the way.
I will tell you one thing. If Kells was taking care of, I would. That's the type of person you want taking care of your loved one in their end
Oh, yeah,
days.
that's awesome. I like that, Tara. Grief is the price we pay for love.
Yes, Tara, exactly, girl. If you don't feel grief, you have not loved in your life. You think about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know some people that have not had a death in their family yet. Like they don't understand. Like they don't
Yeah,
know the
I've heard of
feeling.
that too. I've heard of that too. Like Chicken Lips said he went to his mother's. Pardon me if you're a woman, Chicken Lips. I'm not assuming gender.
Oh,
Chicken Lips just said at my they made me go to my mother's funeral at 10 years old. I still see her laying in the casket. That's exactly what I was saying earlier, Chicken. For the people who say, I can't go to a funeral, I want to remember them in the good times. I get it for those reasons. Like, I can close my eyes right now and remember I told you the person who didn't scream for or cry for 2 days.
yeah.
I could go in my brain and my memory and draw that scream out right now.
Oh, yeah.
I am already. But you know what I mean? It's like that's the way our memories work. Like I'm not going to assume Chicken Lips is 100 years old here, but we're talking probably 20 to 30 years ago if you were 10 years old and you remember a specific detail. It doesn't leave us. You know, like grief and the pain of death, that's here for the living. That's the worst part. The grief of death is for the living.
You're exactly
when you die,
right.
you're not. What do you care? Like that's what people say to me. Oh, what do you want to happen when you die? Cremation, burial? I don't give a fuck. Kick me down the street.
I'm going to tell you what. I had an auntie that said, my mother's used to, it was her sister, her oldest sister, and my mom would say, Liza, don't spend all your money. You know, we got to, you know, this is for the funeral. And she's like, I could give two rats' asses about a damn funeral.
That's kind of how I've always been.
She's like, I don't care what you do. And she's like, she said, don't you have a funeral? She's like, because if those people did not come to see me when I was living, I don't want them to come see me when I'm dead. So do whatever you want to do.
Well, that's that's something else I feel you got to do. You got to make sure you have these, as uncomfortable as they are, you do have to sit down and I've had these conversations in a room with Kels, my mom, and my kids. My kids could be fucking 12. I don't care. My mom, whatever. I know it's a difficult conversation, but it's a real conversation. If I'm on my deathbed, I do not want to live on machines. I want my son to make the decision, none of my mom or Kel's. I want my son, my daughter to make that decision. I want my son to have the final word. Cremate me. Do not. If you give me a religious funeral, I will haunt you all. Do not. To me, that, you know, even though I don't believe in that stuff, I do believe in respect. So to me, that's sacrilegious. To have a priest come in and go, Tom is walking in heaven, and it's like, he didn't believe that, bud. If you're going by
Well,
Murph's
you give
belief,
you give the person what they wanted. That's the whole thing of putting out a will, or, you know, all that kind of stuff, like your last
Yeah,
will and
yeah.
testament.
Larry
Say,
says,
this
I
is
want
what
a
I
Tibetan
want.
sky funeral. Look it up. I've heard of them, Larry.
What
I
is
think
that,
that's actually
Larry?
good. But you know what I mean? It's like, I told them that I will haunt you motherfuckers. It's like, could you imagine that as against religion as I felt during my life, that we're at my funeral and they're like, you know, Murph is up there in heaven right now, smiling down.
No,
Kels is
and
like,
if I know you, I'd be like, well, knowing you,
yeah,
knowing you, I'd be like, Murph didn't believe in that shit, man. What the
yeah.
fuck? What's
Kels would
going
be
on?
like, nope, he don't believe that. He don't
Yeah.
believe he's looking down right now. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and that happens so much. It happens way too much. It's like, you'll see that. I've been to funerals where they start praying, and it's like, I've never seen this guy go to church. Does he, like, I didn't know their beliefs. And you know what? I feel like that happens at a funeral. If you're going to a funeral home, you're kind of making people mourn. Because it's like, you see GMA just, let me see where GMA said her father wanted a big party. Now, if that's someone's wishes, I want a big party. A funeral home's not going to give you that. That's going to, you know, there's not going to be a celebration. As much as you try, there's still a coffin or an urn.
No, my auntie was a gambler, and she said, cremate my ass and spread me over Atlantic, take me to the boardwalk at Atlantic City and throw my ashes over just out there. That's what she said.
Coco, we appreciate you.
Yes.
I know it might be hard for some, so thank you.
Yeah, Coco.
Definitely understand that.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, people deal with things in different ways, you know. So
that's a lot of times we get a what would the word be? We get mad at people for the way they mourn. Like, you'll hear that all the time. It'll be, can you believe he hasn't cried once since his mother died? And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with people that's the thought in your brain?
Why are you critiquing people on their feelings about losing somebody?
That's what I'm saying. You're critiquing the way someone is, like, dealing with a lot. I've been crying for days. I haven't seen him cry once. Like, I never understood that, and it gets crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think in men especially, a lot. I mean, not now. This more the older generation. You know, the man had to be stoic and you know, all of that kind of stuff. So I know when I was a kid and saw my father cry for the first time, it scared the fuck out of me.
I still remember I've only seen my dad cry once, twice.
I saw my dad cry maybe 2 times.
Yep.
And when he did, it scared the
everybody in the live chat who had their fathers in their lives. How many times have you seen him cry? Right. 2 for me as well, Pam.
Yeah, 2.
It was when my parents when his mother died and when my parents were breaking up.
For my dad, it was I was younger. I can't remember.
And then I just seen him cry again, like within the last year, but that was over a death.
Yeah, I just remember being a young kid and there was a lot of commotion, so it had to have been a death. You know what I mean, or something.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Once or twice from that. Lot Lizard, congrats. We're happy for everyone's success.
Yeah, congratulations for him.
Yeah, for sure. Exiled's a funny word, but we'll throw that up on the big screen.
Yeah, congratulations. We wish
Murph
people
don't hide
well.
from nothing.
Yeah, look at Larry. I'm here for the live cat. What the?
But listen, all I can say, Lot Lizard, on that is I never exiled anyone. I just merely said I wasn't fucking with somebody.
Okay, let's get back to the subject at hand.
But you know how we roll, Pammy. But yeah, I think that once or twice number, it would hold true for most people, you know, whose dads were in their lives like that. It's once, twice. I know some people that may have never seen it, but it's like you don't hear people who are like, "Oh, my dad cried all the time. He was very, what's the word? You know, he was very in tune with his emotions."
Yeah, but yeah, you can't judge a person for how they react to any. I mean, well, especially death, but I mean, like anger and stuff like that. People need to. That's a like emotion people need to get under control.
Which
You
one?
know, like not mourning,
Which emotion?
anger.
That's what I said. I think regret that or resentment, regret or resentment. It's like it's anger or sadness. You know, you hate your parents. Why? If you hate your parents, it's like, why? They said this, so they hurt your feelings. They made you sad. You know what I mean? Or they did, you know, hurt me in this way, a bad way. Okay, so now it's anger based. You know.
You know, it hurts my heart. It hurt like being like with my man, like when his mother passed or whatever, and that when a man cries, that hurts my soul, man. Like I just can't.
Yeah. I get it.
Like,
And it's more of those. That's more of those norms. You know, those social norms. A man's not supposed to cry. A man's supposed to be hard. And our generation was raised
like,
different, man.
When you talk about a feeling that you had when something was happening, the pain like resonated, like because a man is, you know, I mean, not to say, you know what I'm saying. It's just like that pain for him to be able, for a man that's like able, for him to have been able to release that emotion with no fucks given.
In front of your children is something different
like,
too.
Oh my God. And my kids will remember it for the rest of their life as well. You know, like, I don't know. It's just when a man cries, it hurts my heart so bad.
Yeah. Like I said, cause it's not common, you know, like I said, I could see my, you know, my dad cried once or twice. How many times did my mom cry in my life? I could see fucking 20 right off the top of my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you said, that's the belief, you know, women are more emotional, in touch with their emotional side. So it's, you know, but nowadays we do live in a different society. Men are more in touch with their feminine side more than ever, with their emotional side, if they will.
Right. But when you think about, you don't, I mean, girls will cry. I mean, girls, no offense to anybody. This is my personal opinion. If it's not yours, you know, I respect your opinion. We can cry if, depending on what time of the month it is, if our gel manicure didn't turn out right, or the chick waxed our eyebrows wrong, or whatever. But men don't go around typically crying for the most part.
I mean, nowadays we don't even get to talk about how we feel, let alone crying.
Yeah, so it's almost like when a man cries, it's I mean, the men I'm around, you know what I mean? I don't, you know, whatever, but yeah, I don't know. I just think people should be able to express their emotions whatever way they want to, and I don't need you judging me for how I express mine, and I won't judge you. That's just the way I live my life, you know? So
definitely. GMA said, my father told me on his deathbed, he looked out the window and seen the horses and said that we have it made in the shade and we just don't know it. Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you know, so these may be sad things and stuff like that, but as a community, you know, it's not nice to talk about death or people, you know, loved ones dying, but we all have been through it, and it's like sort of like just, you know, brings people together.
It. Yeah, normalizing
Excuse
it.
Me. So
no, I totally agree. That's why I always say, like, I'll have any conversation, you know me, and it's like, yeah, a lot of them are very hard. You know, it's going to be hard. Most of the most important conversations are hard conversations. But, you know, it's good for us to be able to say, hey, guys, here's personal experience of, you know, my regret, your regret on why we, you know, time we missed. And to say, hey, guys, you know, mend those fences if you can, because you don't want to wait for the deathbed. You want, you know, you want to you want to try to mend those fences and spend some good years together.
Exactly. Exactly. And you know what? A lot of that comes with age too. I wish I had the knowledge that I have now in my like 30s. I do a lot of things different, I think.
I think that hindsight's 2020 though. You know, a lot of us.
I mean, I don't live life with regret.
Mm-hmm.
I don't live life with regret, but I could have handled some things a little differently. I think.
But you also got to think of fucking butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Like for me, for instance, it's like if I go back to 16-year-old Murph, right, and I go, weed's cool and everything, but stay in school, graduate, blah blah blah, stay in food service. Do I even meet Kels? Do I even live in Philly still?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Do I move to a different state to become a chef? There were opportunities to go to France. So what happens if I get really into cooking and I'm pretty good at it? I was, a natural in ways. Like, do I meet Kels? I met her at 19. Do I meet her if I'm in fucking France? Probably not. Then I don't have Kels or my kids. So it's like that butterfly effect. It's like I could go back and say, tell your friends never do drugs. And the theory of butterfly effect, for those that don't know, is you go back in time, you step on a butterfly, and you come back and your grandfather was never born. It's something weird. A chain of events leads to everything being different.
Tim has a question. Is accepting the same as normalizing?
I think yes, Tam. Normalizing, I would say, is like what we're doing. We're bringing it up more. Like, salute Coco. I understood the conversation's hard. I don't blame her at all. But what knowing that this is for me, for myself, knowing that this is one of those harder conversations. I've always been a rip the Band-Aid off kind of guy. So, you know what I mean? So, but what I mean by normalizing is talking about it more, making it more, quote, like you said, accepting. I think accepting is a great choice of words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think normalizing is more, like I said, it's something that should be normal. That's not. You know what I mean? It's like these conversations, I talk salute if they only knew. But these conversations are hard. Like, here's your prime example. These conversations are hard to have, and people have been dying for 10,000 years. Humans have been dying for 10,000 years. And these conversations are still hard to have because it's not normal, quote, normal to talk about. They're taboo conversations.
And we got to also remember our path in life is not always somebody else's path in life. They could have had a totally different life. I've been blessed and to have met some of the most exceptional people. You know what I mean? They're not, some of them are here, some of them aren't. I've met
Zaid, blessings, brother.
Hey, Zaid. More, more people that just of every walk of life I've met, and they've brought something to my life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But you look at the person that's had like a person that has had a horrible hard life and can smile and spread love is somebody I have the utmost respect for. You know what I
think
mean?
I think that's something we all do a little too often. We go, yo, my life was so full of crazy moments, trauma, whatever, that we assume everybody. And then you meet people and they're like, like I have an example. When me and Kels first met, I asked her if she was ever abused, SA, because so many girls that I grew up with were hurt as young girls, whether family members, whatever. Like my first girlfriend, the girl I lost my virginity, she had issues that she would tell, someone hurt her when she was a child. So that even fucked with me my first time. Like, you're trying to do it with someone that was abused. You feel a little weird.
I never thought about. I mean, I have, but that's a great point.
But I asked Kels that when we first got together. I was like, this ever happened, or the R word? Because it was so common in like my friend circle. Like the girls I grew up with, a lot of them either had been or some girls say it for attention, unfortunately. So it's like, I heard it so much. It was like, this is a girl from outside that circle. Hey, did you ever, this happen to you? Did you ever hear that? You know, things like that. But it's just like you said, you never know what people been through or haven't been through.
Exactly. On any given day, depending on my mood, if somebody
Change
is
the mood,
like,
brother.
if somebody is
This
like,
is like a grief group. Tam.
yeah,
This
it is, right? Hey,
this is
Jay,
grief group.
you don't know why a person is acting a certain way. You sometimes just want to step back and say, you know what, I'm just going to hold my tongue, you know, and not say anything, because you might add fuel to the fire. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to, you know, step back and just let it, you know, accept people for who they are.
Yeah, I think holding on to regret is it's so draining. It'll kill you. It really does. It's like your mind should be open to doing so much more other than holding on to, you know, anger or hurt from the past. It's like you should be enjoying the moment. We're not here long enough to worry about what happened to you when you were 7.
Yeah, and the older you get and the closer you get to, excuse me, like you really I think you like start having more tunnel vision. Like it's like getting smaller and smaller.
Well, yeah, because a lot of those outside connections start falling off. You start getting a more concrete line of people in your life. You know what I mean?
Right. And
it's like you might have 100 friends in middle school. High school, you have 50 friends. College, you have 20 friends. 10 years later, you have like 2 friends.
No, I reflect on the fact, like listening to my elders say, you know, you're getting old when, like, you know, people are passing, or celebrities. Celebrities and stuff like that are passing away.
Yeah, that's a trip. That one's a trip. I can't lie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not promoting like, oh my God, my life is ruined because you know, this celebrity, whatever. But at the same token, sometimes,
well, our generation grew up,
especially songwriters.
But our generation grew up with fucking pop culture.
Yes, that's true. But like sometimes, especially people that make music, if somebody has made a song that has touched your soul, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Saved your life, you feel.
Yes, saved your life. Like you were at your lowest point, and that song just, you could listen to it a million times like it was the first time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they do. You don't, I mean, my son cried when Mac Miller died. Yeah. I didn't realize how much he loved his music, and I think Mac has a song about his mother.
Yeah.
And my son says, Mom, I dedicate this song to you. And I listened to it. I literally was like just so choked up. You know, I was just like, and he was like, Mom, he like has gotten me through a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And a lot of people follow Mac's, you know, mission of his own, trying to get clean. And then,
so I was just like, wow. Yeah. So, that being, you know, said for celebrities and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's different. It's different for our generation. You know, like if you respected somebody because they were a great actor or an athlete or whatever, you know, it's not.
But even the news has shoved celebrity down our throats since the 80s. You know, it's like if you go back to the 50s, who was considered you know, celebrity? It was like fucking Grace of Monaco. You know what I mean? You're talking like politicians, and in the 50s it was like royalty, and you had a few movie stars. By the 80s it was like Michael Jackson had Wheaties for breakfast today, that Madonna took 3 shits.
But we're more relatable to, because because of social media now, people can become celebrities just by a TikTok account, okay, or whatever, you right? So
false sense of celebrity for sure,
right?
But look at the TMZs of the world. They show us fucking Vanna White fist fighting at a barbecue, and it's like we've learned so much more about these celebrities that it's like when they die, of course, it's like that's been our quote heroes since we grew up with Stallones. And it's like in the 50s you looked up to generals and fucking presidents and kings and princes, and it's like nowadays You look up to Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, come on. Everyone looked up to Will Smith. He fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I'm the type of person, I like to look up to somebody that I can actually touch.
Yep.
Like sitting with I don't know. I just have something for elderly people, like just sitting with them and just like listening to them and just talking with them.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I love it.
There's that level of wisdom there, and you're it's there and you're accepting it. So
yeah. I interviewed for one of my school projects. I interviewed a lady that was born in the 1900s or 1899 or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, I can remember doing that, and I don't know. I just think the wisdom that can be passed on from older generations to be priceless.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's sacred. It's really sacred.
He who does not study history is doomed to repeat it. And history always repeats itself. So you want to know as much as possible.
Exactly.
But this technology changed everything.
But at the same token, the knowledge that they're passing on to you makes them feel fulfilled. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. Makes them feel like they learned it for a reason. Same as when you're going to teach it. When you teach it down the road. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have the utmost respect. If I see somebody like disrespect seniors and stuff like that, I will speak up right away. Yeah.
That's we live in a society now where no one wants to speak up no more. Everyone just stands there and watches women get beat, old people get beat. No, everyone's so afraid to get shot. Basically, it's I'll just
you have to be careful.
Stand here and stare at my phone, and it's like I could never do that. I'd rather die. I'd rather die swinging. Is how I always look at it. Die on my feet.
When shit goes down, what do you see people do? The first thing they do is pull out their phone.
Exactly. Look, that's what I see. Even when George Floyd died, 8 people were recording it instantly, and thank God that some people were, because we got it out there. But it's like there used to be people that would have walked up on there and said, "No, officer," I said, "Get the fuck off his neck." We used to have guys that would do that shit. Might be someone that officer considered an equal. But
I thought about that. Sometimes
they put all of our OGs away, man. There's no good OGs on the blocks no more.
I'm like, why don't people? I don't know. Shit.
They put away or killed all the good OGs. The people who had moral compasses, even if they were drug dealers, pimps, whatever, they had some kind of a moral compass. Those guys were killed or locked up. The ones they keep letting go in and out like a revolving door are people who have no morals, no respect for the game. They don't care. Every dollar is theirs, however they got to make it.
The person that steps in regardless and does not care if it's their last day on earth and they're just going to do the right thing regardless, those are the selfless ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just like, I don't care. These, you have somebody come, shooting, whatever.
Yeah.
And they take control of the situation. They're like, I'm not letting this go down on my watch. You know what I'm saying?
I've learned lessons over the years, and I try to read this situation because I've been in situations where it's like a domestic, and you're like, yo, bro, don't fucking hit her, and then both of them are trying to jump you. Do you know what I mean? It's like you've heard of that happen so many fucking times where it's like sometimes you want to mind your business, but like you said, when it comes to like an elderly person, like most times you'll see that happen. It'll be like on a video, they'll be like on the subway. But I see videos of old man walking down the block, that kids run up and punch him. When I was a kid, we were never into that.
God. I would, if I saw, or if you're on the damn subway train.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Same shit.
And people don't get up and let an elderly person or a lady sit down. You're a piece of shit to me. Okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm big on that. Science, a lot of the wrenches went, brother. We just cut them back, be a little more professional. We locked them down with just a few people that are definitely not, you have no worries of being shot. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so like that kind of stuff.
Pilato, salute. But everyone's still welcome all the time, of course. It's just we're just trying to cut back the mods a little bit. I had like 100.
Yeah, everybody.
It's
It's sort of intimate, like you explained before. It's
yeah,
intimidating for new people.
I could imagine. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've been in chats where it happens now because a few people got upset about me doing it and they took their wrenches from me, which I don't mind. You know, take the wrench. I don't care. But it's like now I go in and it does feel a little weird that it's like I'm the only one in there without a wrench now. You know what I mean? It's like that. Or in a conversation, it's like I'm the only one without one. It does feel weird. But as long as I'm not being shot, I don't give a fuck. As long as my comments are being, I could type and you accept it and it still shows and the creator knows I'm there. I don't care. And if you do shoot me, I just leave.
When you think about the chats that have like thousands of people in them, you only see 4 or 5 wrenches.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Look at Frank. I mean, Frank's only got, whatever. I don't feel any way about it. It doesn't matter.
That's what I say. You got to fake it till you make it. And like you said, if there was 1,000 people in here right now, even 100 wrenches would still be intimidating to those other 900 people.
Yeah.
Like if we had a chat going that crazy, I'd make a couple more mods naturally. But it's like, it wasn't done because no one did anything wrong, so it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just an attempt to make the channel a little more professional. Cut back on that intimidation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tell people that, I mean, like you gotta figure out how to work through your regret. You have to. You have no choice. It will eat you alive.
Yeah, you have to, and you have to have good friends to give you good solid friends that give for support and give good advice.
Yeah.
Like I've said this a million times. If you ask me for advice and might not be something you want to hear, I'm going to tell you it might not be something, if I know the situation up front.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't hold it against me,
We definitely need those people in our life. Mentors, friends, other family members, you know what I mean? You need them in those. And
family's not always blood, right? I've got a lot of friends that I consider family,
I'm closer with Eric than my brothers.
Right.
I love my brothers, but I talk to Eric more than them.
Yeah, because I
hope everybody's okay, Mama T.
Mama T, I know, yeah. Hey, babe.
Science, so much has changed since then. Everybody had to be wrenched for the trolls. So much has changed on YouTube since then.
Well, YouTube did isn't that a guidelines thing that they did?
You could set it. You could set it that the only people. I went into a chat the other day and it said you had to be subscribed for at least 5 minutes to comment. It was a real big. It was a real big YouTube channel. But I went into another one. It's real big, and they got through different parts of their show. Like say right now, that I would switch the chat to members only, and then they'd say once we hit 15,000 viewers, we'll open the chat back up. And I was like, wow, that's so crazy to be able to have that. Like, people have that level of control on here. They're like, we're just going to play bullshit videos until we hit $100,
Or they say, or they're like, until I get X amount of likes, we're not going to do anything. And you're like, dude, you have 20 likes and you have 20 people in the chat. So,
but that's what I'm saying.
Somebody else comes here.
The likes, or we'll start when we hit $100 on the Cash App. We'll start when we hit 25 likes. Like for me, I like to do mine like I said, fake it till you make it. I look at my shit like a real TV channel. So it's like I made my bonus stuff called overtime for that reason. It's like, no, my show ends on the hour. We just go overtime. Just, you don't have to stay here, whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, but my shows start 8 o'clock. I hit go live at 8 o'clock. I'm not going to start talking till 8:05 anyway. But I try to keep mine like very, very professional. I have two music shows and a talk show.
I look at Tam Tam's remark. This is you highlighted the one I was looking at. This is our support group.
Yeah. It's been.
I don't know about you. Like, if you're expecting to be a millionaire off of this shit, you're in a fantasy land. Okay?
I tell everybody that only one out of 50 is going to do anything like huge. Probably even more than that. Like if you want, The most I would want out of YouTube, I could see myself doing, I'd have to have 100,000 followers, 100,000 subs, just to live off of.
So
You need to get
for,
you don't make money until you're in that range. Then
so
you
for
still
right.
need sponsors and shit.
Well, for us as our community and how the tight knit group of people that we have, she's exactly right. We're each other's support.
Mhm.
And if you can get that from this, I think it's worth your time. You know what I
Sure
mean?
do.
Like, it's
You could get some kind of humor. I mean, that's what I try to get out of all my shows. It's like with Convos, it's like we're gonna have a funny convo. It's a podcast, so it could be a funny episode. It could be like tonight where we're touching subjects that not everybody wants to go down those trails. So you have but then I have music shows that are designed for people who, in that moment, would need to be listening to music. You know what I mean? It's like I try to keep my shit real formatted in that way.
right. I mean, I know how much I need to live comfortably.
Mhm.
And I can't depend. I mean, you can get laid off at a job anywhere or whatever,
Yeah.
but with a job, you have benefits, you have all this other stuff. Or if you're self-employed, you go through the same thing. So YouTube to me would be more of a supplemental, like vacation fund money or, whatever. I mean, unless I hit it big.
Well, that's what it is. You gotta see. I think like the guy's house I'm working on, he is home all day, works on the computer. That's the dream job for a content creator. Whatever he does, it's kind of like you were doing during quarantine, working from home. It's like if you were a content creator, think of how much time you would have had to create content. Do you know what I mean? It's like you might be on the phone with your boss, blah, 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 but over here you're on your laptop writing a script.
Oh, a lot of people multitasked and did that. Believe me, I know.
That's who excels at this, the people who can do that. I mean, I think if I was 25, I would fucking crush YouTube because I worked and sold drugs, so I had money to do things, and that's what people wanted to see on YouTube. They want to see you doing shit. But it's like you ain't making no money unless you got 100,000 subs. Then you're going to start seeing 30K a month. That's good money. That's quit your job money.
Yeah, exactly.
30K a month is quit a lot of people's jobs money.
Right. And then, I mean, it would have to be up there. Even let's just use a round figure of $5,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
If you like missed a few days or you didn't feel like doing something or you were sick or something came up and you couldn't and you only made $7,000 the next month, you're fucked. If you really need to, I'm sorry. And you only made $3,000 or whatever.
Yeah, and then a lot of the people ain't saving, right? They're not paying taxes, so they're going to jail for that. It's like people ain't realizing they're getting handed this check $30,000 a week, and they're fucking out blowing 22 of it every week. It's like, bro, you should first off 50% of that money got to be put away right away for taxes. But 50% of that. They send me if they send me 30K a month, that means I'm making 15 a month. Now that means if YouTube AdSense is paying me that 30 minus I'm taking that 50% for taxes. So I'm left with 15K each check. That means now I got to reach out to sponsorship or I got to like Logan Paul. Logan Paul makes money off his podcast. And then it's like, he's also making money because he's on WWE. He's making money because he's doing shit with the UFC and stuff like that. Yeah, multiple streams of income is what it's all about. Especially on P3 salute. Coming live from the future.
You know what? Or you have people that are just like, I don't give two craps about it. I mean, when you have all of that money, like, it's like, what do you want? A bigger house, more cars, more whatever. I mean, some people make a shit ton of money and donate it. You would never, I've met some of in the specific field that I work in, which is financial. Some of the people that I've seen that you would never know their portfolio was like in the high millions, man. Oh, yeah. You would just look at them and be like, look at this dude, man. What a dork.
I think that's what a lot of people's brass ring is $1 million. And it's like, I don't know, because it's like, when I look at content creators, it's like if I could, like you said, stay home, create content all day, this is my job. I don't know what I would need, because it's like, yes, I'd want to live just a little better than I do now, even though I'm comfortable right now. It's like,
Right.
I'd still like, would I want to take these checks coming from YouTube, put them in the savings account, and just continue to, like, the life I live now, just to boost it up just a little? That would be the smart way. But on the same note, it's like, I'm going to go buy a nice car, because, you know what I mean? It's like, probably want to buy a nicer house or own a nicer house.
Yeah, I
So,
mean,
you know.
I'm the same. Like, of course, you would want that. Like, money stress is like one of the worst stresses to have over your head. Okay.
Money is the devil for that reason, because when you're poor, it's like you feel like when you're poor, you feel like money could change everything. And then when you're rich, you realize it doesn't change anything.
It doesn't.
Like,
I've
if
had
you're
a lot of
lonely,
money
you're
before.
still going to be lonely.
Yeah, I've had money before. I mean, I'm not saying I've been like rich, but I've had excessive money, and I've blown it, and I was no happier. I was happier when I had less money. This is what I learned.
Yep.
You know, so it's just
it's hard though, because it's like in my position, it's like, yeah, I feel like 1,000 more a month would help. You know, it's like if we had 1,000 more a month coming in, it's like life would be a lot easier. So it's like, but then of course, money don't fix money don't buy everything, is because of the things like inside we could be broken. That money, you know, if you're a lonely person, you know, I don't have anybody in my life, money's not changing that. You'll get fake people that are going to leave, and you're still going to be lonely.
Yeah, that's so true.
I think nowadays we have a big problem with that because of social media and having instant access to somebody else. Like when we were kids, there was something called being by yourself, doing nothing. You might be sitting in a meadow. You might be sitting on a dock, sitting on a dock at the bay. There were times like that back in the day. Life moves slower. You might be 10 years old, but you were just sitting there, staring at the sky, looking at the clouds, staring at the water make waves, whatever it was. We don't have that.
We live in especially the younger generation coming up now lives in a I need you to entertain me environment, right?
Immediately. Yeah. That's what exactly.
So I'm like one of those type people. I could like take a book and go sit down on a bench somewhere and just read and look around and be happy being by myself. Some of these kids, they can't. They can't.
Exactly my
constantly
point.
Like
there's a lot of adults. I know adults. I know people
that's true too.
I got friends that'll be like, yo, like before I moved up here, my one friend would hit me up like, yo, come by and smoke a blunt with me. I'm like, all right, I'll stop by if I can. Come on, man. I'm sick of smoking by myself. And it made no sense to me because I'm like, wait, I love smoking by myself.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like enough people don't like being alone, like by themselves. It's like, I know I'm probably, you know, spoiled by the riches, so to speak. It's like, and people have said that easy for you to say, you know, because your time alone ends. Like Kels comes home, you're not alone anymore.
But or this is a good point too. Even though we want to be alone and we choose to be alone, we know Kels, Katie, and Junior are still there.
Yeah, that's the point that's been made to me. Like, it ends. They'll be home.
If you're like a person that your everything was your spouse and you lose your spouse and now you're alone.
Yeah.
You're alone. That's another type of alone, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely different. That's definitely different. Yeah.
I think of that too. Like, you may have crap kids that move across the country and they don't like give a crap about it.
I don't think that would be fair for, like, I've told Kels, like, she could take whatever she feels is the proper amount of time, but you should, like, move on if I die young, especially. It's like, kids are kind of grown. When the kids say, Mom, get out there, you should. Like, you should not, like, you know what I mean? That's a different, like you're talking about, that's a different level of loneliness. And I've known people that stayed alone until they died, and it's like, that's kind of rough. That is a different level of alone.
Well, and some people are fine with it and some aren't. I think I would be the type for if I spouse situation, I would say, and my kids were younger, I'd say just find a woman that takes care of my kids and respects my children. Other than that, I mean, or, yeah.
I don't know. If my kids were young, I think I'd want you to wait till they weren't young. That's just me being selfish, I'm sure.
Well, yeah. In today's type of climate of psychos.
Oh, yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, those psychos were always there. We just see them more now.
Yeah. You don't see them the same until you have kids.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I think if people should always move. If you can find love and all that good stuff, you should move on.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Kel says that like she don't have time. She wouldn't want to move on and wouldn't have time for it. But that's what I'm saying. Like if I'm young, you shouldn't be alone for the rest of your life. Like if I die when I'm 65, I get you being single for the rest of your life. That makes sense.
Well, yeah. I mean,
like if me and Kel were 65 and she passed, I'd probably hope to be going along right after her, but I wouldn't move on. But it's like if I pass tomorrow, like we're 40, bro. Yes, by the time you're 50, you should have someone else.
Well, yeah, you could say the same thing about divorce. There's some people that get divorced and like never want to like interact again.
Yeah, well, a lot of people get scared. A lot of people get scared because over a 10 to 20 year period, dating changes.
Exactly. I can't imagine.
When you got with hubby, when you got with hubby, or when I got with Kels, we got together in 2002. Dating apps didn't exist.
Yeah, I cannot I've been with
you had calling. You could call in and like leave voice messages for each other. There was that technology, but it wasn't like Tinder, swipe, find someone in your area, and you could be having sex the next day. Like that didn't exist.
I know that did not exist. But you talk about like a couple that's been together for 20, 30 years, and then they decide to part ways. Yeah. And then you've had that one constant person.
Oh, that's like a culture shock. That's like getting out of prison. It's like getting out of prison.
I have girlfriends that have gone through that and just like, oh my God.
Yeah, if someone gets divorced after 30 years, all you see is Brooks was here. It's just like Shawshank with Brooks.
I know, that person that you've been with, like your whole, basically.
Yeah, damn, did you hear about Murph? Murph and Kels broke up. He couldn't take it. He's institutionalized. He's too used to being married. Being married.
They'll be like, hey, Kels is on the market, man. She's a good catch.
No,
Murph is a psycho.
Yep. She's crazy, though. I don't know if people would be able to deal with it.
No, please. That's what everybody says.
She's a catch, but I know how to work her. She knows how to work me.
Well, exactly. That's the thing about it. I think
Kels ain't crazy. She's passionate.
Right. Just don't give up on love if something fails. You know what I mean? Because
I think that's a good point you're making too, especially the divorce factor, because that's like they say 50% nowadays. A lot of people don't expect it and they do.
Sometimes, sometimes there's certain parts of your life where you're together, you have kids, you raise your kids, your whole life revolves around the kids and their activities and getting them through high school, getting them what they're going to do. And then when all that settles down,
you're like, what am I going to do?
And you're like, I don't really like this dude anymore. Or like, he doesn't like what I like, or
I think that's a lot of it. Yeah, for sure. That definitely. I mean, after me and Kels fight about shit now, where it's like, yo, we shouldn't be fighting over this 20 in. You should know that I like comedies and horror movies and shit. But it's like, also, I've said this a lot. I feel like people give up nowadays because the market is so oversaturated. Some women go, he fucked up. That's it. I'm going because I know I can find a better man tomorrow.
Nah, I don't. But
you know what I mean? A lot of people believe that exists. Yeah. But, like I can say that through all of our fucked up shit and working our way through it, we're stronger now than we were. You know what I mean? I'm more in love now than I was. So it sucked what it took to get there, but thankfully we're there.
Well, there's a lot. Can you hear me? Because I had to plug my phone in.
I hear you fine.
Okay. There's a lot to be said about the strength that's built when you have to go through those hard patches, right? It's all fun and games when everything's good, right?
Exactly.
So when you have to go through those hard times, that's where you test it, right?
That's when I tell people when they say, "Damn, 20 years." I'm like, "Yeah, the fucking 13 good ones you try to remember, but those 7 bad ones still exist."
Good night, DJ.
Science, good night, brother. Thanks for hanging on a late night in the UK. No, it's late over there.
I love DJ so much.
Yeah, all of our UK family's the best, for real.
I love my UK.
We need to try to get our ladies' night together soon, too. So we'll have to do it early enough for those ladies because they're 5 hours ahead. But
yeah, exactly.
I definitely
we got Bex, DJ, Haley, Scotland.
Yeah, we got a great
Alan. I've seen Alan back around, huh?
Yeah, Alan was around earlier. Yep. Whole bunch
I couldn't remember. I was asking KT who that other guy was, and I think he's the one that told me Shifa. Remember Shifa?
Shifa and British B.
Yeah, and British B. Yep.
British B.
Oh my God.
Oh, hold on one second. Let me see something. I gotta play my troll clip again because someone came in talking about QV. So we gotta play this.
Oh, okay.
So the paintbrush is almost out of paint. You can do this. And do those little rascals. Now we can go back.
All the trolls on YouTube, your girl's crotch looks like Bob Ross' head.
Now just smooth the paint out.
Tell your girl, cut that coochie, fro. Let's go.
Not the coochie fro.
Was that Mr. Ross?
That was Bob Ross.
Yes.
Hey, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. We got about 15 minutes left. I'm going to give y'all a little video of the weather real quick. We got Pamela J, the best co-host in the game up here.
Oh, thanks, bro.
You already know. You've been killing it.
Well,
Kels said it. Kels was like, she has been doing good. I'm like, yeah, she has.
Well,
but,
I love talking with you. So
yeah, definitely. Let's give you guys a weather report.
It was fucking 60 degrees yesterday. Now it's snowing. Shit is crazy.
That's what it looked like last night after being 60 the day before. Shit is ridiculous. Yeah, but that's, I think that's just crazy. Hold on.
what's going on?
Yo, if Selena was here, but no one, I hope she's not blocked. I'll check that right after the show because Selena better not be blocked.
Yeah, I was going to say, who would block her? She's so sweet.
She said not long ago.
I haven't seen her.
Yeah, we would have said. Yeah, we would have. Yeah, she thought it was weird. No one said hi. I bet we would have said hi. So I bet she did think it was weird.
Oh my God, poor Selena. Tell her it's a huge mistake.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing her either. I would definitely say hello. I don't mind at all. Have to check it out for sure.
Yeah, Selena.
I see your text, babe. Thank you. Yeah, that's what they're like. Oh, since he was exiled, his pages. I'm like, good. I'm glad it's doing good. What do you think I'm gonna hate? I'm pissed. How dare you talk about him?
Yeah, no, I think the person that said that about QV was like if you look back in the chat, I think they said
they didn't like him, so that's why they were bringing it up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like live your best life, dude. I don't care, whatever.
Yeah, tell her to try to come back now, Honda. Let's see if it pops up, because that's weird.
Tell her to, yeah, tell
Yeah,
Selena.
you know me, Pin. That's exactly how I feel. I'm like, okay, live your best life. I hope so. I mean,
Yeah,
listen, if
right.
someone's going live every day, they're going to have success on here. That's just how it is.
Yeah. Everybody's got a bandwagon to jump on. Shit.
I've said it before. Like, oh, congratulations to the Island of Misfit Toys.
Yeah.
Like, the channel that's all shunned people. I should care. That's how I
Or
look at it.
I mean, if there's that many like-minded people like that, you know, I mean,
More,
there
look,
are. I
I'm
swear
not.
that's.
But I've never. It's people have always tried it. I guess because it's the norms. Like Tommy D's doing so much better than you, and he started his channel after you, and it's like I've never been after the numbers. Why would any of that matter?
Exactly. Like
I've
it's so
like if
weird.
I was worried about numbers, my shorts would be fucking hip hop commentary, all hip hop clips, sports. You could get easy number. I don't want to do that. I want to get numbers off my own intellectual content. You know what I mean? It's like I don't care if it takes me 5 years and I have 2,000 subs. Then so be it. That's what it is. Like I don't use. I'm not trying to get famous off this. If I did, it helped me with my comedy, fine. But I'm not using it specifically for that. It's like not targeted.
Look at Teresa. She said that makes me. That's another.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Kenzo's for Ken. This is my guy, Kenzo Rome. Salute, bro. I like the Eagles content. Keep it up. One video at a time, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just about supporting. You support who you support. I could care less, man.
That's where I'm at with it too. Like I said, so much has changed compared to how I used to feel, and like the argument I had with Tommy D about times and shit. It's like it's so funny now because now I'm like, look,
that shit was hilarious. Now that we think about it, right?
Yeah, things have changed. Things have changed for sure. Where it's like I don't care now. It's like people. I said it a while ago. The viewer can distinguish where they want to go, and if someone's over there and not here, don't catch feelings. Maybe the conversation there is more what they're looking for right now. People just Tam said it on her show earlier, and she's right. Like people take that shit to heart. Why weren't you at my show? It's like, oh, excuse me, I had diarrhea. I was stuck on the toilet. I couldn't, you know what I mean? Whatever the case. Sorry, I was at work. Sorry, I'm raising my kids. I was fucking changing my tire on the side of the. People do that shit. You know what I mean? They're like, why weren't you at my show? I'm sorry, I was living my regular life.
That's exactly it. But if for me, because me, you, and Kels are like so close, I would say, hey, bro, I got a meeting tonight. I'm not gonna be there, just so you know. I'm that type of like. You know, like especially like like Vic LFM, he'll tell you, like people sometimes people just want to let you know that I'm not shunning you or whatever,
Yeah. No, and you have to in a way too, though, because I had someone the other day, their feelings were hurt over the way I said hello to them or acknowledge them in the chat. So it's like sometimes you do have to talk about it because I wasn't even thinking on that type time. You know what I mean? Like, no, there's no issues at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but and it depends on the day the person's having too. Like if they're having a shit day and they're like, oh, let me go to Murph's live. He always cheers me up. And you type in there, hi Murph, and you don't even like recognize their name. You don't say anything to them. They're like, fuck. He's made my day even worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't know.
All right, so I'm going to have to check the block list. Selena's blocked. I might have a wrench or two still that ain't supposed to have them, so we'll have to fucking check through it.
If there's no, I mean, I'm usually on the panel. There's, how it's happened accidentally before. Do you remember?
Even if it happened accidentally, though, like if you were up here, Tam, Nat, Kells, they're gonna be like, yo, somebody just accidentally, you know what I mean? Like someone would have told us if Selena got shot when we were up here. The other wrenches would have been on it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Someone might have a wrench that's not supposed to.
I have not seen her at all. I mean, I haven't seen her in the chat at all.
Yeah, she shows mad support. That's why I'm pissed off by that, because I'm like, yo, she shows up to all the shows, shows a lot of love, gets in the conversations. Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone has a wrench that shouldn't.
I'm glad that Honda brought it to our attention.
Yeah,
And didn't
thank you,
say,
Honda.
yeah,
Sorry,
she could have
Selena,
been
if you're
like,
here.
it could have like went so left on, like somebody could have said, oh, Murph blocked me and my, whatever. She handled it perfect. Hey guys, Selena's not, you know what I'm saying? That's how adults handle shit. Okay.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. A few people, I know their feelings got hurt by it, and it's like, yo, if I'm saying, hey guys, I'm cutting wrenches back to be more professional, if you support the channel, you should be like, okay. Like maybe your feelings get hurt that you're like, damn, he gave 5 and I wasn't one of the 5. I get that, but just to be mad because I took like, you wouldn't have been in the top 5 if I cut it to top 5. Why would you be upset?
Honda said she doesn't know about the blocking, so she thought nobody wanted to speak to her. Poor sis.
So that's bullshit.
Oh
Fucking
my God,
assholes.
my heart.
Sorry, Selena.
We love Selena. Oh my God.
Yeah, she's thinking everyone's ignoring her. The way YouTube responds, you won't even really know you're blocked unless you know it.
Yeah, I mean,
me and Kels will do that. Kels will be like, yo, jerk off, you don't see me saying hi in the live? And I'm like, yeah, I said it to you first. Like, send a screenshot. She'll send me one, and her screen, it will not be on there. Crazy.
Richie says, vote for Selena.
Let me see if I can pull it up while I'm up here.
She says, sis, have a seat, wait there.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do real quick.
Oh my God, I feel that would be like, I would be like that type, like, I would be calling Kels behind the scene, like, why aren't you saying anything to me, bitch? Like, what's going on?
That's funny. But yeah, that's happened before where people are like, are you ignoring me? I'm like, no.
Is that my fucking connection? I hear static.
That's probably me.
Oh, okay. Now my phone, I went to work when I was in work today. I went to the tech room and I said, does anybody have any canned air? I'm like, I feel like I know I have crumbs and shit all in my phone. I need to get it professionally cleaned. Plus, I need some new. I need new AirPods.
That canned air, people be huffing, so they don't ever have it no more.
Right?
I worked with a dude that was like, it made his voice sound like Darth Vader deep. It was crazy.
I don't get it. I just don't get that.
People do fucked up shit.
Well, I guess. I mean, maybe my younger self. I don't know. Maybe I'd be like, well, fuck. Let me just try it. No.
Almost there, guys. Hold on.
That's fun. This is more important. We need to have a resolution.
Yeah.
We need a resolution. You're right, Selena. You know what? I'm so happy she's in the community now too, because she's like so positive and she supports everybody. She has interesting topics. You know, she's real open-minded.
The fucking names in here, my God.
What?
The names in here are crazy.
Oh, your people in the.
Hey, there's a fake Pamela J.
Are you serious?
Tell Selena to comment, guys. There's a Linda G. That better not be the real Linda G. There's a patty cake. GT histories. Fucking scumbags. A Honda mommy.
Oh, Honda.
There's a few There's a few of my friends. There's a few Mucolinis. What the fuck?
Teresa says, oh my God, I'm so upset. I need a Xanax. What the fuck? Oh, God.
I hope some of these Damn.
Did she type?
If we,
Honda, tell her
did
to type
Selena
something.
comment? Yeah, tell her to try to. There was one, so I unblocked it. Let me know if that was her. Yeah, it's the same wrenches as before, so.
Teresa says I wouldn't be shocked if I made that list. Didn't make that list. Honda says she told her to type something.
All right, yeah, let me know. I'm just trying to look still. There's a Reverend Ralph in here.
She did, and nope.
Hell. Yeah, that was Selena was in the block list.
Maybe you have to refresh it. Maybe it's got to be refreshed or something.
Yeah, maybe. Let me see. Just give it a double check. All right, now I'll try because I hit save.
Honda says a mod can go to an old live and do it.
Okay. Can do that. That's facts.
Honda knows a lot about this stuff too, man. She's
Yeah, no,
smart
they
on
just changed a lot of the mod shit too. There's a standard mod and something else, but most mods can. Yeah.
You got to be real careful who you give those controls to, man. I don't want them. I'm not hitting around the bush. I don't want them.
Some regular videos.
Honda, no, she's in the bushes. She's in the bushes. She said, sis, you interrupted the whole show. No, we were wrapping it up anyway, so we just need to get this fixed.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, hold on, we're almost.
Even Kels is looking forward too. Y'all are so sweet. That's so nice that you're just you want a resolution. That that speaks to your character of how you're going to handle something.
Come on.
Are you still there? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Can you hear me, sis?
Okay. I can hear you now.
All right. Mama T, how can you be on the block list if we could see you? Tam said she get her, yeah. I checked the wrenches, though. The wrenches was all good people, so if anything, it would have definitely.
Does Selena, isn't there a way, can Selena go to her, who she's blocked? She might have accidentally blocked herself from coming here.
I may have to only taking care of that. That's crazy.
Larry, is what I said correct? He said yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's answering you, I think.
I think, remember all those times I couldn't, Don Diva, I think it was.
Yeah,
I had
yeah. Well, I
acci-
had to go into Google.
I had accidentally blocked Don Diva under my account, and I was always like, I can't see, like she couldn't see me, but I can't remember what it was, but it was weird, and I was like, how did she get blocked? I don't
Yeah,
understand it.
some weird shit. Be. We're wrapping up. It's been 2 hours. Sis.
Well, I had a good time tonight. I'm gonna hit the road.
Yeah, be safe, please.
Okay, great show. I know it was you know, some of it's emotional, and you can understand if certain, you know, people checked out, that's, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's some, you know, it's good to, as a community, to come together and be each, you know, hold each other up when, you know, sometimes people want to talk. So
Exactly.
all right, everybody have a great night, and bro, I'll talk to you later.
All right, I'll talk to you.
All right, love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye. Guys, another great show. Have another book for you guys. The Great Selena Mystery of 2023.
Dirty Kenzo takes no claims to any songs or videos you might see on the site. Enjoy, motherfuckers.
Mark Zuckerberg, a commie, a Nazi, and of course, king of the lizards and butthurt pussies. Now, put that in your little Facebook jail. Fucking weirdo. Follow the Dirty Kenzo, unless you're one of them goddamn Nazis or commies. Dickhead, rumble me.
No.
I could hear the ocean.
Appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of Convos. We'll catch up again Thursday. Same channel, with tips, links to food and everything. As always, tell me you guys, we'll be back here Friday for 20 p.m. Yeah, Selena, if you can hear Selena, comment on the old video with the regular. Hey, that's people in Europe who are up. I can hear the ocean. That's an oldie but a goodie. But yeah, guys, appreciate you. We'll be here again Friday for 20 p.m. YouTube news and live chat. Sunday morning, 7 to 7. So then we'll see you here for this news again next Tuesday.
So wait till your brush is almost down to pink. Then do this. And do those little rascals. Now we can go back to the front deck.
All the trolls on YouTube, your girl's crotch looks like Bob Ross' head.
That'll just smooth the paint out.
Tell your girl, cut that coochie, fro. Let's go.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Dirty Kenzo Production.
me.